chosen one. The most important thing you need to hear today is not a threat that I will abandon you, but an invitation to stop, become still, and recognize that you have been living far from the peace I placed within your heart. I am not counting every second, so that I may punish you, nor do I close the door simply because you have delayed, lost your direction, or failed to recognize a sign. My love is not so fragile that it disappears because you turned away once. I am calling you because I see that your shoulders have grown weary, your thoughts have become tangled, and your steps have sometimes been carried toward things that no longer agree with the good values you once desired to preserve. Archangel Michael, the faithful messenger and protector who carries out my will, has been sent to remind you of courage, not to hold a sword over your head. His presence is an affirmation that you can rise again, discern what is right, and continue your journey with a steadier heart. I know there are days when you feel a quiet stirring within, as though something is inviting you to examine yourself. You may call it intuition, conscience, or a moment of awakening amid the noise of life. Do not fear that feeling. It does not come to condemn you, but to lead you home. When you suddenly recognize that a relationship is exhausting you, that a habit is pulling you downward, that a wrong word remains uncorrected, or that a decision needs to be reconsidered, this is not a sign that disaster is approaching. It is an opportunity to grow. I do not want you to live in panic, always afraid that one wrong step will destroy everything. I want you to understand that genuine change is built through small choices, repeated with patience, humility, and honesty. You do not need to be perfect in order to be loved by me. Because you are loved, you can courageously look at what remains unhealthy within you and begin to change. Perhaps you have heard words that made you believe heaven opens only to those who react quickly, remain until the end of a message, or perform a particular action. But I tell you that grace is not a race in which you must struggle for breath, because you fear being left behind. I do not manipulate you through the fear of loss, nor do I withhold love as a prize for those who obey urgent demands. What I desire is willingness. I want you to come to me because you long for truth, not because you fear punishment, to choose goodness, because you understand its value, not because someone has driven you into panic, and to remain in peace because you have learned to listen, not because you believe a door will slam shut if you hesitate for a moment. True love always leaves you free, and that freedom does not make you careless. It enables you to take responsibility with a clear mind. Look again at the road you are walking, but do not look with harsh eyes. Some of your choices were born from pain. Some of your reactions appeared because you had endured too much for too long, and there were times when you hurt others because you did not yet know how to heal your own wounds. I am not asking you to excuse your mistakes. I want you to understand their roots so that you may change them at the source. Genuine repentance is not tormenting yourself with guilt, but courageously admitting, this no longer agrees with the good person I desire to become. From there, you learn to apologize without evasion, make amends where possible, establish healthy boundaries, and choose a new way of responding. I see every one of these small efforts. Others may not notice them immediately. But each time you restrain a bitter word, speak truth instead of hiding, or choose forgiveness instead of retaliation, you are stepping out of the old darkness. I also know you have waited for many things. You have longed for a door to open, for circumstances to improve, for a prayer to be answered, or for a turning point that would make life easier. but do not allow anticipation to become obsession or cause you to measure your worth by results that have not yet appeared. Not every delay is failure, and not everything that has not yet happened means you have been forgotten. There are seasons when I teach you to prepare. Instead of rushing to receive, I train you to manage small things before entering greater responsibility, to remain humble before receiving recognition, and to stand steadily in ordinary life before facing profound change. What is greatest does not always arrive in a miraculous form. Sometimes the miracle is that you no longer respond as you once did, that old things no longer control you, and that you no longer surrender authority to the voices that once caused you to doubt yourself. Michael is sent as a symbol of protection and courage, reminding you that protection does not always mean avoiding every difficulty. Sometimes protection arrives through a truth that awakens you, a boundary that forces you to stop, or a door that does not open despite your many efforts. Do not immediately assume that everything that fails to follow your wishes is rejection. There are roads I do not want you to continue because they are causing you to lose your peace, self-respect, and ability to love. I am not withholding goodness from you. I am teaching you to release what is no longer healthy, so that your hands may be free to receive something more mature. But you must participate through your own awareness. You need to observe what is making you increasingly bitter, what is drawing you away from sincere people, and what is causing you repeatedly to betray the very values you claim to cherish. Do not search so intensely for mysterious signs that you overlook the clear reminders within daily life. If your body is exhausted, rest. If your mind is overwhelmed, remove what is unnecessary. If a relationship continually involves humiliation and control, seek wise support and establish boundaries. If you have done wrong, make amends. If you owe someone gratitude, express it. If you love someone, show it through kindness, presence, and respect, instead of waiting for a special day to speak. What is sacred is not found only in moments of overwhelming emotion. It is also present in the way you keep your promises, treat the vulnerable, speak when no one is supervising you, and live honestly when no one applauds. Do not overlook these ordinary things, because they create the foundation of a stable life. I do not want you to believe that your future can be destroyed by one moment of inattention. Human beings can make mistakes, take indirect paths, and lose time, yet still return and rebuild. What you need is not fear but honesty. Ask yourself today, what in my life needs to be corrected? What am I trying to preserve only because I fear being alone? Which apology am I delaying? Whom am I refusing to forgive, including myself? Let these questions open a quiet space within you. Do not rush to produce an impressive answer. I value an awkward truth more than beautiful words that are followed by no change. When you acknowledge your condition honestly, you do not become smaller. On the contrary, you begin reclaiming the power to choose, and the past no longer governs you in secret. Forgiveness does not mean calling wrong things right, nor does it require you to return to the place that harmed you. Forgiveness is refusing to allow bitterness to continue occupying your heart. It is a journey that may require time, repeated prayer, and much support. You can forgive while maintaining distance. You can release anger while still requiring accountability. You can wish goodness for another person without restoring their ability to harm you. I also want you to learn to forgive yourself. You have made immature decisions, lived through weak seasons, and sometimes failed to live as you desired. but you are not the sum of those mistakes. You are someone who is learning, growing, and still capable of choosing more wisely. Accept responsibility without destroying yourself, and make corrections without nurturing contempt for who you are. When you truly change, you will not need to make many declarations. The peace in your response will speak on your behalf. Your new patience will become evidence. The way you treat those who cannot benefit, you will reveal what is happening within. Begin with what is nearest. Complete what you promised. Care for your health with moderation. Reorganize your time. Speak a word of gratitude to someone who has quietly remained beside you, and stop feeding conversations that make you increasingly negative. Do not wait for a powerful feeling before acting. Much renewal is formed when you do what is right, even though your heart does not yet feel fully ready. Discipline does not remove your freedom. When grounded in love, it protects you from being carried away by temporary desires. Do not believe that you must walk alone. I often send support through sincere people. A friend who listens, a compassionate family member, a wise guide, or a community that respects and encourages you. When you need help, speak. Seeking support does not prove that you are weak. It shows that you value life and desire to live responsibly. Be cautious with those who use spiritual language to make you afraid, dependent, or willing to surrender your decisions to them. Healthy guidance makes you wiser, freer, more loving, and more responsible. It does not cause you to tremble in fear of missing out, nor does it require you to sacrifice your dignity in order to be accepted. I lead you through truth, accompanied by compassion. Perhaps you stand at a crossroads and do not know which step should come first. I do not require you to see the entire road. I only invite you to choose the nearest step that agrees with goodness. If an apology is needed, begin with sincere words. If you need to release a habit, change your environment and find support. If you need to leave something toxic, create a safe and thoughtful plan rather than acting in anger. If you need to begin again, do not be ashamed of small steps. A new life is not formed in one night, but it begins the moment you stop making excuses and accept that you can act differently. I am not standing far away, waiting to watch you fail. I am near each time you rise, each time you adjust, and each time you choose love, instead of reacting from pain. Therefore, my beloved child, release the words that made you believe, I love you, only when you do everything correctly. Release the fear that one mistake will destroy your entire future. Release the resentment that has made your heart heavy, and release the habit of condemning yourself after every fall. I am not calling you into panic, but into an awakened life. Courageously say no to what is pulling you downward. Be strong enough to leave patterns of thought that make you smaller. Choose truth even when it requires change. Choose forgiveness even when the process requires time. And choose kindness even when you have not yet received the justice you hoped for. This is enduring strength, quiet, yet capable of changing the direction of an entire life. Now breathe more slowly and allow peace to return. Be grateful that you still have today to correct something, love someone, and take a new step. Be grateful for the lessons that helped you mature, including the things that did not unfold according to your plans, but showed you what truly matters. You do not need to chase every voice, prove your worth through achievement, or live in fear in order to keep me near. I have always been here with patient love. Michael remains the faithful protector beneath my will, reminding you to clothe yourself with courage and walk with discernment. As for you, Return to your life with new eyes, more peaceful, more grateful, more forgiving, and more determined to live beautifully each day. Even though the road ahead still contains challenges, you do not have to face them in panic. Walk in faith, humility, and love. Every day you choose goodness is another day in which the light within you grows, my beloved child. I want you to stop, not because you should fear losing a blessing, but because it is time for you to hear a truth that can change the way you see yourself. I have never forgotten you, not even during the months when you believed your cries disappeared into silence. I saw the times you forced a smile so that others would not recognize your exhaustion. I knew the nights when your body lay still while your mind carried countless unanswered questions. I saw you abandoned when you needed a hand, misunderstood when you only wanted to live sincerely, and wounded by words from people you trusted. None of your tears were meaningless. None of your pain was too small to matter, and no dark season had the power to erase the dignity I placed within you from the beginning. Archangel Michael, the faithful messenger and protector who fulfills my will, is sent to remind you that you were not created to live forever in fear. He does not come to promise that every obstacle will disappear in an instant, but to help you remember that courage can rise, even amid circumstances that have not yet changed. I know you have endured pain for so long that you sometimes regard it as a familiar part of life. You began to believe that you must always be the one who yields, remains silent, and carries the heavier burden, so that everything does not fall apart. But today I want to tell you gently and clearly, you do not need to keep exhausting yourself in order to prove that you know how to love. Love does not require you to lose yourself, and compassion does not require you to tolerate what damages your dignity. Some chains are not around your wrists, but hidden within beliefs you have carried for too long. That you do not deserve respect, that you must please everyone, that you are not permitted to rest, or that one mistake from the past defines you forever. These bonds are not removed through one dramatic declaration, but through awakened choices made repeatedly, speaking truth where you once felt afraid, establishing boundaries where you once endured silently, asking for help where you once forced yourself to remain strong, and walking away from what is harmful when you recognize that it no longer leads you toward peace. Do not assume that I act only when you witness a great event. Much profound renewal begins quietly, as dawn arrives without asking permission from the darkness. One day, you realize you no longer want to argue in order to be recognized. You stop measuring your worth by the way others treat you. You can hear criticism without allowing it to become your identity. You can remember an old event without feeling your heart pulled back into the place that once broke you. This too is liberation. It is not loud and does not cause the whole world to stop, but it changes the world within you. When you begin caring for yourself responsibly, when you know how to say enough to what is exhausting you, and when you know how to leave conversations that only feed bitterness, a new door is opening. That door does not depend upon whether you remain before a screen or perform some ritual. It opens when you choose to live honestly, healthily, and faithfully, according to the good values I planted within your heart. You once hoped that I would return everything life had taken from you, but some things do not need to be restored in their old form. Some relationships ended so that you could learn not to exchange peace for the feeling of belonging. Some opportunities passed so that you could discover that your value does not depend upon a title or praise. Some dreams fell apart, not because you were unworthy, but because you needed to mature before understanding what truly suited you. I do not promise that every loss will be replaced by something identical, but I can use those lessons to make you deeper, wiser, and more appreciative of sincerity. What is restored within you may become more precious than what you once lost. Trust guided by discernment, the strength to say no without guilt, peace no longer controlled by another person's attitude, and hope that circumstances cannot easily extinguish. Sometimes you ask why you have had to wait so long. You watch others move forward and feel as though you remain still. You wonder whether you did something wrong, missed something important, or are less loved than those around you. But you do not see their whole journey, just as they cannot understand every quiet battle you have faced. Do not use another person's timing to condemn your own process. Some seeds sprout quickly, while others remain deep beneath the soil for a long time before emerging. Slowness does not always mean failure. Often, it is the period in which you learn to distinguish between what you truly need and what you merely desire because you feel lonely, between the right door and an attractive but unstable path. I do not make you wait in order to torment you. In many seasons, I use waiting to form endurance, humility, and the ability to preserve something good when it arrives. Listen, but do not search for my voice in words that cause panic or make you believe the future will disappear if you hesitate for a moment. My voice does not force you to run in anxiety. I lead you through truth, and truth always walks beside compassion. When words pressure you, remove your ability to think, or persuade you to surrender your decisions to someone else, become still and examine them again. What is sacred does not need emotional manipulation to appear trustworthy. Healthy guidance helps you become mature, responsible, and free. It teaches you to love without dependence, forgive without denying wrongdoing, and hope without escaping reality. Michael stands beneath my authority to protect and encourage you to remain steady. His sword of light symbolizes discernment that cuts away the lies rooted within your mind. It is not a threat against you. Perhaps a door in your life has remained closed for too long. It may concern work, reconciliation within your family, the ability to love again, or the confidence you possessed before you were wounded. Do not immediately conclude that the door will never open, but neither should you spend your entire life standing before a place that no longer belongs to you. Ask for wisdom to know when to persevere and when to move in another direction. Some doors do not open because you need to learn something more. Take another step of preparation or adjust the way you approach them. Other doors remain closed because what lies behind them is no longer a place of peace for you. Maturity means refusing to turn a desire into an obsession, refusing to allow one outcome to determine your value, and refusing to view rejection as proof that you are unloved. A season of suffering does not end merely because you want it to end, but it can begin losing its power the moment you change the way you respond. You cannot control everything that happens, but you can choose not to allow it to make you bitter. You can feel pain and still remain kind, feel disappointed without falling into despair, and experience rejection without rejecting yourself. You can rest without shame, apologize without degrading yourself, and begin again without calling it failure. I do not require you to appear strong at all times. Sometimes your strength is the courage to admit that you are tired, need help, or do not yet know which direction to take. Such honesty does not make you weak. It opens the door for healing to enter the places you once concealed. The noise of the world may cause you to forget what matters, but it cannot steal what I have planted within you if you learn to care for it. Reduce the voices that continually pressure you to compare, compete, and prove yourself. Be careful with content that keeps your heart anxious, conversations built entirely around judgment, and relationships that require you to pretend to be someone you are not. Stillness does not mean escaping life. It is the moment when you pause long enough to recognize what you truly feel, what you genuinely desire, and where you are going. In stillness, you may discover that what you called being trapped was sometimes an invitation to change your method. What you called abandonment may become time in which you learn to stand, and what you once regarded as an ending may be the beginning of a more mature life. I do not want you to wait for an extraordinary event before beginning to live differently. Change has already begun each time you choose one small but upright action. Today, you may call someone who once showed you love. You may stop a habit that is damaging your health. You may admit a mistake, put your room in order, fulfill a delayed promise, or devote time to something you continually neglect. Do not despise small steps. A wall may not collapse from one touch, but every brick removed weakens it. In the same way, each healthy choice weakens the barriers of the past. You do not need to transform your entire life in one day. You only need to stop feeding what you know is leading you astray and begin nurturing what helps you become kinder, more peaceful, and more courageous. You also need to understand that no enemy is more dangerous than false beliefs you allow to speak on your behalf. When you continually believe you are useless, you will ignore opportunities that could help you move forward. When you believe everyone will betray you, you may close your heart to sincere people. When you believe you must always win, you will interpret every correction as an attack. Allow the light of truth to enter these beliefs. You are not the things others said while they were angry. You are not a failure, merely because some plans did not succeed. You are not unworthy of love, simply because someone did not know how to love you rightly. Yet neither do you need to build yourself upon pride. Know your worthwhile, remaining humble, receive correction, and be willing to change when you recognize something unhealthy within yourself. If resentment remains within you, I do not command you to deny it. Name the pain honestly, acknowledge what happened, and give yourself time to heal. Forgiveness is not a performance, nor is it a sentence forced from a heart that is not ready. Forgiveness is the process of refusing to allow the person who hurt you to control the days ahead. You may forgive without returning to the former relationship. You may hope that the person changes while maintaining necessary distance. You may release retaliation while still requiring justice and responsibility. Forgive yourself as well. Do not continue punishing your present self for decisions made by an older version of you who did not possess today's understanding. Admit your mistakes, correct what can be corrected, receive the lesson, and allow yourself to move forward. Now rise with a new spirit. Do not rise to prove to anyone that you are strong, but to live according to the goodness you have recognized. Release relationships that only make you doubt yourself. Release the need to be understood by everyone. Release the habit of delaying change because you fear an imperfect beginning. Courageously build a life in which your words and actions agree. Where you know how to thank those who helped you, apologize to those you hurt, defend the vulnerable, and remain honest even when no one is watching. This is powerful change. It requires no lightning from the heavens and no overwhelming moment, only your faithful decision to choose light in the most ordinary parts of life. After all these resolutions, return to peace. You do not need to run, and you do not need to fear that you are too late. Take a deep breath and be grateful that you still have the opportunity to love, repair, and grow. Be grateful for sincere people who remain beside you, for lessons that have made you wiser, and for ordinary days that quietly keep you moving forward. The future is not built through panic, but through faith expressed in enduring choices. I do not leave when you are weak, nor do I withdraw my love when you make mistakes. I patiently lead you home whenever you lose your way. Michael continues to fulfill my will as a faithful protector, reminding you to preserve courage and discern what is right. As for you, walk forward with a lighter heart, clearer eyes, and a determination to live more kindly each day. What awaits you is not merely a different circumstance, but your own transformation into someone who loves more deeply, forgives more sincerely, gives thanks more often, and remains steadier before every change in life.